Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of racing action here on VidaneTV. My name is Patrick Byrne, and tonight we've got the championship night for the Oil Boys during the Winter Blast 150 by Polson Lumber Company at New Smyrna Speedway. Kyle Goodbout leads the points currently with 446 points on the board. Do not see him in the session just yet, though. Ryan Kuhn, who we see here in the 72 car, is currently second in points, but 426 points on the board, and Jake Grout right behind with 423 points. These three drivers are your most likely contestants to win the championship here. Luke Shannon currently sitting with 397 points. He's not mathematically ineligible, but it's going to take a miracle for him to top the charts here. Any decent finish for Ryan Kuhn or Jake Grout could get them the top spot if Kyle Goodbout doesn't make the field here tonight. So we show 35 seconds left here in the practice and qualifying session. Currently at the top of the charts is going to be Ryan Kuhn. His best lap is an 18:448. See if we can get you some of these drivers' best times up on here. Jake Grout sitting in second with a 18:558. So those are your two title contenders right now. Caden Fisher in the third spot with an 18:561. JD Stockwell with an 18:578. And Kenny Thompson going to be with an 18:602 as we wrap up this session. Field going to be lining up now for heat race number 1. No pole sitter here tonight. Pole sitter is bowing out. So Makita Giru going to start all by himself at the head of row number 1 in that 36 machine. Row number 2 going to have Justin Prescott in the 04 on the inside. To his outside going to be Chris Theron in the 5 machine. Row number 3 has Jarvis Sadiel in the 017, and to his outside is going to be Tegan Atkins in the 88 car. Row number 4 is Mike McCaskill on the inside and Zachary Bumgardner on the outside, and Cam Beatty and Luke Shannon rounding out your field for heat race number 1. Kyle Goodbout was scheduled to start on the top spot, so he is in the session, but not going to make the call here for the heat race. Now, 10 points are on offer if you win the heat race. So that's going to be 10 points. The rest of the field is going to catch up on him. So it's going to drop that points battle down to about 10 or so points. So Kyle Goodbout has to make sure he finishes at least 10 spots ahead, or within 10 spots of drivers like Ryan Kuhn, or just to make sure he can stay on the top of the points. Field coming around, take the green. Pace car takes the dive to the inside, and away we go. So Makita Giru in the top spot in that 36 machine. Justin Prescott following closely behind here at New Smyrna Speedway. I was just down in this region of Florida, and let me tell you, it's absolutely wonderful this time of year. Having to come back to Ohio, shoveling my car out of the snow, definitely not as much fun as staying in Volusia County here near New Smyrna Speedway. Great single file battle here so far in this heat race. Working lap 3 out of 10, Justin Prescott continuing to try to find a way around. New fastest lap for Jarvis Sadiel, going to be in the 3rd position, and that's going to help him out as these leaders are now fighting side by side. Makita Giru almost losing 2 spots, tapping the wall there, going to stay side by side with Justin Prescott. Doesn't get the drive off the corner though, and Prescott's going to clear him down the back straightaway. Halfway this time, your top three are still single file. Oh, and big slide there for the 36 machine. Manages to keep it all together, but that's going to shuffle him back to the 4th position as Tegan Atkins now fighting to the inside. And Tegan Atkins gets it done out of turn number 4, so your pole sitter, Makita Giru, going to be in the 4th position now. Still believe this is a transfer spot, but not as high up as he wanted to be. Hearing some carnage a little further back in the pack. Don't see anything happening, though. Whole field is going to be single file, except for these two, Jarvis Sadiel and Tegan Atkins, side by side, making contact out of turn number 4. Atkins gets shuffled all the way to the inside grass, manages to keep the car in one piece, though, and they're still battling side by side through turns 1 and 2. Field working lap number 9 now, sideways for the 17 machine. Both those cars save it all the way down to the inside. This is some of the best racing I think I've seen out of the Oil Boys all season long. This heat race has just been a barn burner. What a way to close out the season. Still plenty more racing action to go here for the night. As we make our way on the final lap, Justin Prescott a whole straightaway ahead as he makes his way out of turn number 4. He's going to come home and take those 10 points here in heat number 1. Kyle Goodbout does make his way out onto the track, sets the fastest lap, but he's going to finish 7 laps down from the rest of the field. So, unfortunately, only earning 1 point for that heat race finish. So we now grid up heat race number 2. Ryan Kuhn, currently sitting 2nd in points, going to be starting on the pole in that 72 car. He was outside, is going to be JD Stockwell. 3rd is going to be nobody. Race Control is not a car that is running here tonight, just a placeholder for our wonderful live Race Control featured here in the Oil Boys. Starting Riley McVetti and another Race Control machine, so a lot of non-starters here in this one. Row number 4, we're going to have Caden Fisher on the inside, Kenny Thompson to the outside, Jake Grout, your 3rd place in points in that 49 machine, going to be starting 9th, and to his outside is going to be Hayden Bushy. So both those Race Control cars you see, those are just placeholders. And we're just going to shuffle the field forward since there was one on the inside, one on the outside. No need to crisscross here. So all the drivers getting ready, waiting for that pace truck to make its way off of pit road, and there it goes. Ryan Kuhn sleeping at the wheel, getting just a little bit of extra rest before we go and duke it out for 10 laps during this heat race. So lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. Going to be one more time around for these guys before we get heat race number 2 underway. And this is a big opportunity for Ryan Kuhn to make up some points on Kyle Goodbout. If he wins this, that'll be 10 points. He'll gain 9. So he'll only have to finish he'll only have to finish 9 places ahead of Goodbout, which is going to be an impressive feat. But if Goodbout has trouble during the feature race, that could spell the end of the championship run after building such a lead throughout the season. Pace truck's in, away they go across the stripe. It's going to be Kuhn first. Stockwell holds right up to that quarter panel in the turn number 1, but out of turn number 2, it's going to be Kuhn all alone up front. Stockwell taking another dive to the inside here. No contact, but they come close. Good clean racing up front so far. And it looks like there is a race control car out on track. That's going to be the number 98 machine. Not sure who is piloting that car. Oh, but we'll just call him Mr. Control because he looks pretty in control of that third position right now. Car is graphicked up with the number 60. Timing and scoring going to show it as the 98 fastest lap so far of the race goes to Ryan Kuhn with an 18.330. Side-by-side battle now for Jake Grout in the 49, and to his outside is going to be Riley McVetti in that number 25 machine. Grout's within a couple of points of Ryan Kuhn, so he's going to want to take everything he can get here and try and get himself up at least to that second position to not fall back any from Ryan Kuhn. Kuhn still all by himself up there going down the back straightaway. Half a second gap to your second place car, JD Stockwell. Watching along with the fight between Jake Grout and Mr. Control there in the 60. And Grout does get the spot, works his way up to fourth, so that's only going to be a 3-point deficit under Ryan Kuhn. So, not optimal here if he wants to win the championship, but again, he's got a long 150-lap feature race here tonight, so plenty of time to get things done. Ryan Kuhn now working lap 8 out of 10, only going to be 2 laps remaining here in this one. Huge shout out to Polson Lumber Company for sponsoring this Winter Blast 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway. It's good to see some sunshine too. Up here in Northeast Ohio, we haven't gotten a lot of that lately. I believe it's still snowing. It has been for the past 2 weeks. I haven't seen the sun in a really long time, so nice to get to see it for a little bit here in the sim. But it's going to be the white flag. Ryan Kuhn all by himself. No pressure from Stockwell. That gap up to 0.8 of a second as he makes his way down the back straightaway. So that's going to be 10 easy points over Kyle Goodbout. Makes his way out of turn number 4, across the stripe, and he gets it done. Heat race number 2 winner, Ryan Kuhn. So it looks like we're only going to have 2 heat races on the night as we're already into our consolation. So Zachary Bumgardner going to start on the pole in the consolation in that 24 car. Riley McVetti starting second in the 25 machine. Cam Beatty starting third in the 45. Kenny Thompson starting fourth in the 39 car. Chris Theron starting fifth in the 5 car. Dominic LaFleur sixth in the 03. And rounding out your field, row number 4, going to be Kyle Goodbout, shotgun on the field. Not going to score any points here in the consi, but going to do his best to get up there up front so he can get himself a decent starting spot for this 150-lap feature. Field making their way out of turn number 1 onto the racing circuit. It's going to be 2 pace laps before we get this consolation race underway. 12 laps the distance for this one. So once again, we're doing a double header here on VidaneTV. So If you get bored of the oval racing action here, or at least the short track racing action, want to see something a little ridiculous, the Liberty Racing League is running some Miatas. Looks like at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval. You can find that on the Facebook page, but here on YouTube, we've got the Oil Boys. Down the straightaway they go, here for your 12-lap consolation. And already Kyle Goodbout trying to get some stuff done in that tie-dye number 92 machine. That thing is painted all sorts of colors. Already made up one spot. He's got Cam Beatty in the 45 in front of him to try and get by. Big momentum there out of turn number 2. Going to have a run down the back straightaway. Can he make the dive in the 3? Yes, he does. Cam Beatty succeeds the spot. Doesn't want to fight for it. Now he's got to get past the 24 car of Zachary Bumgardner. Again, no points to be scored here in this consolation, but he's got a championship on the line. Fastest lap going to go to Riley McVetti, your current leader, as he runs away from the field, half a second gap over Kenny Thompson. And there we go. Goodbout seals the deal for the 4th position. Going to try and close the gap on Dominic Lafleur, currently up to 0.7 of a second behind Lafleur, who just set the fastest lap of the race. So going to be tough to get this one done. We'll move up towards the front of the field. It's going to be McVetti, Thompson, and Lafleur trying to run away from Goodbout. That gap's still about 3/4 of a second, but it is closing rapidly, especially with these guys fighting for position up here. Not necessarily fighting side by side, but having to brake a little earlier, trying not to run into the cars in front of them. As Lafleur, your current fastest car on track, looks inside, looks outside, trying to find a way around that 39 machine. Halfway through this consolation race. And Goodbout is running out of time to get these passes done. He's still got to catch up, and then he's got to find a way around. So not sure if he's going to be able to do it. He might be able to break in the top 3, but I don't think he can get the win here in this consolation. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. Not a lot of jockeying for position in this consolation, though. Couple cars scratching into that outside retaining wall down the front straightaway. And Goodbout is there on Lafleur as Kenny Thompson trying to make a move on Riley McVetti. That's just going to slow this pair down. Both cars making contact. One car sideways, one car into the wall. Now they're going to be 2 by 2, 2 rows back. A little bit of contact there for Lafleur and Goodbout, as Goodbout seals the deal for the 3rd spot. Only going to be 2 laps left to go to get 2 more cars. And to the inside goes Goodbout. Little bit of contact there with the 39. Has to back out of it. Doesn't want to wreck a guy here in the console. You want to make as many friends as you can going into this feature race with a championship on the line. As we're approaching the white flags, field makes their way out of turn number 4. Does Goodbout have it in him to get at least one more spot here in this constellation? No, he does not. So Riley McVetti going to finish on the top spot of the consi. Kenny Thompson 2nd, Goodbout 3rd, Lafleur 4th, Bumgardner 5th, Beatty 6th, and Chris Theron finishing in the 7th position for this consolation race. So it should be a quick little warm-up here. Good 5 minutes. Stretch your legs, relax. Maybe grab yourself a nice ice-cold beverage or a warm beverage, whatever you prefer here in the month of February. So 19 cars on the grid here for tonight's feature race. 150 laps. And Goodbout is not mathematically locked in. I'm just being reminded it is 2 points per spot here in the feature. So you win the feature, that's 50 points. You finish 2nd, that's only 48. which means Goodbout has to finish within 5 spots of Ryan Kuhn in order to win this championship. Now, if Goodbout finishes ahead of Kuhn, seals the deal. Goodbout's going to be your champion. But we've seen Ryan Kuhn here. He is the Iron Man of VidaneTV. He runs everything. He wins everything. Ryan Kuhn, the only driver in the field with over a 10,000 iRating. So not only is he one of the best here on VidaneTV, he's one of the best on the iRacing platform. So he's going to be a tough guy to beat here tonight. Same deal, you can't count out Jake Grout. Jake Grout only trailing Ryan Kuhn by 3 points after the heat race. I believe he trails by 6 or 7 points. So Jake Grout going to have to finish at least 3 spots or 4 spots ahead of Ryan Kuhn, in addition to finishing at least 10 spots ahead of Kyle Goodbout. So Goodbout is your likely winner of the championship, but we can't promise anything until it's over. Currently fastest on the board is going to be Ryan Kuhn with an 18.136. Goodbout a close second with an 18.156. Dominic Lafleur is going to be third so far with an 18.195. So really close grid here tonight. Who is that in the 3? Mike McCaskill absolutely nailing the Jersey barrier there on pit road. Not sure if he intended that to happen. Hopefully he's not in VR, because that'd make me a little sick. So just under a minute left here in this warm-up session before we get this race underway. For the Polson Lumber Company, Winter Blast 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway, and I feel like the Winter Blast 150 is just rubbing it in that I'm stuck here in Ohio where it is freezing cold. I got to my car this morning. My dashboard read -6 degrees, so not having a great time up here. Like I said, last weekend, I was actually down here in this neck of the woods. It's nice and warm. I got a good suntan, sunburn, and all my coworkers are jealous, but I'm kind of upset that I'm not down there. If you're looking for something else to watch here on VidaneTV, we've got 2 broadcasts running concurrently here tonight. Starting at 8 is going to be the Liberty Racing League racing Miatas on a super speedway, or at least a mile and a half, but it's like a super speedway to the Miatas on our Facebook page. So if you got 2 monitors, you don't want to hear my voice anymore, but you still want to watch the Oil Boys action, you can absolutely tune in here. And if you want to hear Paul's soothing voice, you can tune on the Facebook page for those Miatas going absolutely ballistic on a big super speedway. So, field is starting the grid. Just waiting for the rest of the stragglers to make their way out onto the track. On the pole is going to be Justin Prescott in the 04 machine. To his outside, going to be Ryan Kuhn in the 72. Jarvis Satil starting third in the 017 machine. JD Stockwell starting fourth in the 45. Tegan Atkins fifth in the number 88 machine. To his outside, going to be Caden Fisher in the 18. Row number 4 has Makita Giroux in the number 36 car, starting 7th. To his outside, going to be Jake Grout, one of your other championship contenders, starting in 8th. 9th position, going to have Luke Shannon in the 13 car. To his outside, going to be the race control car that is driving. We'll call him Mr. Control here for the night. Mike McCaskill starting in 11th in that number 3 machine. Hayden Bushy starting 12th in the 15 car. Picking up row number 7 is going to be Riley McVetti on the inside. To his outside, going to be Kenny Thompson in the 14. Kyle Goodbout, your current championship leader, going to be in the 92 machine, starting 15th. 16th, going to be Dominic LaFleur in the 03. Row number 9 has Zachary Bumgardner on the inside in the 24 car, starting out in 18th. On his outside is going to be Cam Beatty in the 045. Rounding out your field is going to be Chris Theron and your nobody race control. So, 19 starters here on the board. It is not locked in for Kyle Goodbout. He's got a decent points advantage, but all Kuhn has to do is finish 5 spots ahead of Kyle Goodbout, and it's all over. Gonna be real easy for him to do that right now. Currently 14 positions ahead. Lights are out, field is away, and Ryan Kuhn beats Prescott to the line. Not sure if that's going to be a penalty or not. So already shaking things up. And caution flag is out already. Seeing if we can find an incident or if we're calling the start back. And here it is, Kenny Thompson. Big incident there in the turn number 1. So not calling the start back, we're calling that good. Ryan Kuhn still scored on the top spot. So unfortunate incident there for the number 39 machine of Kenny Thompson. He makes his way down the pit lane. Let's see if he puts 4 fresh tires on it. Same thing with Goodbout. Looks like he just topped off the fuel tank. Kenny Thompson probably taking some repairs here. Definitely topping off the fuel tank. You do burn a little bit of fuel here under caution, especially with those 2 pace laps. But I'm not sure pitting here on lap 3 you're going to gain that much fuel. But I guess if you start at 15th, you've got not much to lose. So lights are still on the iRacing safety truck. Hope to see those get flipped off here. This field's starting to double up, so I think we're going to go 1 to go this time. And we're going to retry that. Yes, we do. Lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. Field rounds the track, hopefully one last time here under caution. And iRacing safety truck comes off. Ryan Kuhn starts from the inside this time, first to the line, and away we go with try number 2. Field thunders its way down in the turn number 1 for the first complete green flag lap here of the night. Got a little bit of action further back. Jarvis Stottiel and Jake Grout battling side by side. Grout has to beat not only Kuhn, but he also has to beat Kyle Goodbout if he wants to win this championship. Kuhn's going to make that real difficult as he now has a quarter-second lead over second place Justin Prescott. JD Stockwell, current fastest car out on the racing surface. Good action here for the 7th through 10th position. He's got side-by-side action. Almost had a 3-wide fight there with the 15 of Hayden Bushy joining in, but decides to back out of it. Nikita Giroux looking to the inside of the 88 of Tegan Atkins. Not going to find anything happening there. Field makes their way into turns number 3 and 4. About to work lap number 10 of this 150-lap barn burner here at New Smyrna Speedway. We'll ride on board with Kyle Goodbout as he tries to make his way up through the field. Currently, Ryan Kuhn is your points leader. So Kyle Goodbout has to get himself up at least to the 5th position, if my math is correct, for him to win this championship. So a lot of cars to get through. He's got to get through at least 10 of them here. Currently just riding along, sitting in the 14th position. The whole field is single file right now. You can see just how steeply banked this track is, and we've got one spun around here. Looks like that is going to be the 36 car of Nikita Giroux. Just loses it on his own at a turn number 2. See if we can get that from another angle here. Get the close-up shot in the turn number 2. Car just starts stepping out under the power. Thankfully, looks like Mike McCaskill was able to avoid that. And no damage to that race car. So harmless little self-spin. Going to lose himself a couple spots. Maybe break its confidence a little bit here in this one. But does keep the car all in one piece. So Ryan Kuhn's still going to be your race leader. We'll pull the graphic down on that. Kuhn's still your race leader. Prescott 2nd, Stockwell 3rd, Caden Fisher 4th, and Jake Grout making up your top 5. And we keep talking about the weather here tonight, so why don't I show you what our weather conditions are. Currently a balmy 78 degrees. Out here in New Smyrna, Volusia County, Florida. Track temperature of 88 degrees, partially cloudy with a 5-mile-an-hour north wind. Bit hot and humid here today, but you can expect that here on the ocean side of the Florida Peninsula, excuse me. But lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. Or excuse me, they're not out. We're just going double file a bit early here. We're going to lap number 16 out of 150, already a 10th of the way done with this race. The Polson Lumber Company Winter Blast 150 here on VidaneTV. Lights are out on the iRacing safe truck. We're going to go green flag this time, but we'll take this time to remind you, you can get $8 off your first 4 orders if you go to vidane.tv/DoorDash. You can scan that QR code at the top right of your screen. That's right, $8 off your first 4 orders, courtesy of DoorDash. So, if race cars make you hungry, you can get that on DoorDash, or maybe you're out of beer. You can get a good beer run on DoorDash too. It's all $8 off with that coupon code. Field making their way under green now, down the back straightaway, and we've got another one spinning out. That's, going to take out a lot of the field here. See if we can see what happened there. looks like it started with the 39er. Here we go. The 13 car gets shuffled to the inside. 45 of JD Stockwell. I don't even know what's going on. Looks like just we had a big stack up there. JD Stockwell was involved. That 39 car was involved as well. Looks like most of the cars got away clean and green. But one notable car that didn't is going to be Kyle Goodbout there in the 92. See if we can get a glimpse of what happened to him. Did he drive through that? It looks like he did. Days of thundered his way through that incident. See if we can get an in-car at full speed. Field starts wrecking in front of him, gets hard on the binders, drives it down to the inside, and absolutely no contact to that machine. So Goodbout is going to be all right here. Also makes up a bunch of positions. That's 5 easy spots for him, currently being scored in the 10th position. The lights are out on the iRacing safety truck once again. Field going to double up. Now we're going to try and send them green one more time. I believe these guys get 3 attempts at a double file restart. Before we get them single file, tell them to settle down and knock some green flag laps out. iRacing safe truck makes the hard left turn into pit lane here, into the restart box, and Ryan Kuhn is away once again. Great start there for for Prescott, nearly beating Kuhn off the line. But not able to get it done. Going to go back to single file here for the top spot as they make their way down the back straightaway. Looks like the field gets through a little bit cleaner there out of 3 and 4. Saw some shuffling there further back in the pack. Kyle Goodbout stuck on the high side by side with Riley McVetti and that Mr. Control car, number 60. So to be side by side with McVetti. Like I said a bunch of times here tonight, Goodbout has to get himself at least into the 5th position to lock himself into this championship. Good action further ahead as JD Stockwell trying to get moves done on Luke Shannon. Takes a peek to the inside out of turn number 4. Not quite able to get the run done. Takes another dive at it into turn number 1. See what he can make out of this one. Stacks the field up. Going to slow down Tegan Atkins. And that allows Mr. Control to get an eye on the inside of the 88, but not able to make anything out of that move. Oh, contact there, and that slows the whole pack down further back. That's allowed the gap up to 3rd place to gain to over 1.5 seconds between Caden Fisher and JD Stockwell. Goodbout just has to get himself to the front of this pack, and that's all he needs to do to lock himself into the top spot of the championship. Goodbout still struggling to get around that 60 car, and that's going to allow Hayden Bushy in the number 15 machine to take a peek to the inside quarter panel of the 92. Not able to get anything done there. Goodbout's getting desperate, takes a hard dive to the inside, side-by-side contact with the 60. 60 bounces off the outside wall in the turn number 1. They're still making contact. 92 shuffles the 60 up high. That's going to be 1 spot Goodbout up to the 7th position. Still got 2 more to go. As he starts to take a peek to the inside of Luke Shannon in that 13 machine. Looks back out to the high side, trying to see which of these cars is going to be faster, all while hauling off that number 60 car. Gets the work done on the 13, going to be even with him in the 3, hard on the brakes. And I believe he got the spot before the yellow flag came out. So that's going to move Goodbout up to the 6th position. See if we can see what that caution was for. Looks like possibly an issue for Jarvis Satio. Here we go, in that 17 car. I believe he did have contact there. Of course, had a little bit of technical issue, so couldn't see the contact happen, but I believe he had some help. Definitely looks, yeah, you can see the damage there on the left rear. Definitely had some help getting around. That's not going to help his case at all, though. As noses it into the outside retaining wall pretty hard. That car is definitely going to have some damage. You can see just how scrunched in that front nose piece is. As he makes his way into the pit lane, likely for some major repairs on that 17 car. And he's already away, so see if we can see any repairs done. It looks like he took the backup car. All the damage is fixed on that number 17 machine, so he's going to be able to go out there, race with a nice, fresh, new race car. Unfortunately, not where he wants to be, though. That 17 machine is currently going to be scored in the 17th position. Still on the lead lap. In fact, all 19 cars in this event are on the lead lap right now, so we haven't lost any cars to attrition just yet. But still plenty of racing left to go. Still 115 laps on the board. Lights are still on the iRacing safety truck, so not going green quite just yet. Now the lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. The pace truck going to make the hard left turn in the pit lane. The field is going to race into the restart zone. Away they go. Bit of a stack up there for the 18. And Prescott actually going to beat Kuhn across the line there on this restart. Working lap number 37 out of 150. And look at that, in the 6th position, trying to claim 5th is Kyle Goodbout. If he can get himself up further in this field, he's going to all but lock himself into winning this championship. He's right where he needs to be. Just has to run his own race, run his own pace. He's definitely got the speed to get it done. Just has to keep the nose clean on that 92 machine. As we have the 39 car, Kenny Thompson nosed hard into that outside wall. See, he's got a blown up engine underneath that thing. The whole nose is torn off. Big incident there. See, he was racing side by side with the 36 car. Does he have some help? Yeah, rear ends the 36. Unfortunately, destroys the 39. Oh, the 36 going to retaliate a little bit there. Unfortunately, we lost the 36 car once again in an incident. But obviously, he was not happy there with that incident. Kitagiru's car crab walking down the front straightaway, so that car is going to need some repair work done as well. Looks like both cars taking the backup car. Still some connection issues for Makitagiru. Working lap 41 out of 150 here at the Polson Lumber Company. Winter Blast 150. Hopefully going to see lights out on the safety truck this time. And we do. Field going to double up behind the safety truck. Once again, give you this great shot off the rear bumper of the pace truck. When we go green, we'll give you guys the chance to crank it up here for a lap when these guys go. And once again under caution. Looks like possibly an incident for the number 92 machine. And yeah, gonna get hit by the 13 car in the turn number 1. Turned around sideways. Not a whole lot of damage on that car. A little bit of retaliation there with the 13. He keeps on going. But yeah, not a good look here for Kyle Goodbout. He's going to drop back to the 10th position. See, it looks like also an issue for Hayden Bushy in that 15 car. So you see the incident happen up ahead. Gets hard on the brakes. Looks like Bushy is going to get out of that scot-free as well. So I was told by Mr. Paul to get Kyle Goodbout in here, talk about his Triple Crown victory just last week, but I'm not sure right now after that incident is the time to bring him into the booth. We might get this video demonetized by YouTube, so we'll give him another green flag opportunity to cool himself down, pick up a couple more spots, and then we'll try and pull him in here. So lights are out on the safety truck once again. Field once again races really aggressively in the turn number 1. Not one car hitting that yellow line on the inside. They all make it clean and green down the back straightaway though. Let's see if we get one lap in the books. And we do. Across the stripe goes Ryan Kuhn. 50 laps down, 100 laps left to go here in the Paulson Lumber Company 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway. So one guy we haven't talked a whole ton about here during this race is Jake Grout. Jake Grout has run a fantastic season up to this point. Like I said earlier, got himself into 3rd place in the points, about 36 points ahead of Luke Shannon. So he is pretty solidly in 3rd here. If he can get ahead of Ryan Kuhn, that's going to bump him up a spot, as there's only a 3-point deficit. After the heat race, there's going to be a 7-point deficit behind Kuhn. Not sure if he's going to get that one done here tonight, but should be an easy podium finish in the championship standings. The big fight right now, though, is going to be between Kuhn and Goodbout. Currently, Goodbout in 7th, fighting with Jake Grout, which would put Kuhn on top to win the championship. So it's not over yet. Still just under 100 laps to determine this one. As we ride on board with Jake Grout, see what Kyle Goodbout is doing. Looking at the rear bumper there of Jake Grout. Gonna peek to the high side, see if you can get the drive off the corner. Gets the nose chopped off just a bit there by Jake Grout. Both drivers driving very aggressively, very defensively, and offensively, trying to get their own positions done. As Grout slips up high, gets a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2. That's going to allow Goodbout to try and get the run into turn number 3. Has to check up early, though. You see just how much Kyle Goodbout is pointing the nose down in the corner, exiting turn number 4, trying to drive off the corner as straight as possible. Can't do it so much in turns 1 and 2, as it's a good deal bumpier, but watch how he exits turn number 4 here. Dives into the corner hard, points the nose down, and just slams on the power. Absolutely no counter steer, no opposite lock. That steering wheel doesn't get pointed right at all. He's got a damn good car underneath him here in that number 92 machine. And caution is out once again on the speedway. Looks like an off track here for Dominic Lafleur in that number 3 machine. And yeah, that'll do it. Ooh, almost gets it high centered there on the berm. Able to get it pointed in the right direction. Makes his way back out onto the racetrack. I believe that was Hayden Bushy getting into the rear bumper of that 3 machine. So yeah, it's going to be Bushy in the 15. Both cars get a good drive off of turn number 2. Looks like Lafleur had a great run on the number 3 machine of Mike McCaskill. But just a bit of contact there in the braking zone upsets the rear of that number 3 machine, and unfortunately that's going to send him around. So not an optimal place to be, but still plenty of time in this race to get things all sorted out. So still going to be Ryan Kuhn up front, Prescott second, Tegan Atkins, Caden Fishers third and fourth, Jake Grout and Stockwell 5th and 6th here. Going to be lap 63 when they go back to green. Pace truck makes the hard left turn down in the pit lane. Green flag is out and a great start for Ryan Kuhn. Going to be 0.2 of a second up on the field entering turn number 1. Gets the whole shot, I would even call that. This will pan back and grab the rest of the field. As Goodbout still racing side by side, hard with Mr. Control there in the 60 machine. Jake Grout in that 49 car. They're going to be side by side now going down the back straightaway. Can Goodbout give him anything? Try and make it 3 wide. No, he doesn't. Going to just sit right where he is. Slow and steady is going to win the race here for this one. Goodbout has to keep that nose clean and get himself in the top 5 if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive. Ryan Kuhn still running away from the rest of the field here. You can see everyone single filed out, just trying to click off some laps as we approach the halfway point in this race. And I say that, it's almost like I can predict the future. Caution out once again. It looks like possibly an incident for both Jake Grout and Kyle Goodbout. Both these cars come off turn number 4. Grout gets spun around off the nose in 92. 92 checks up to succeed the position and gets absolutely freight trained by the rest of the field. See if we can watch that one more time. I don't know that Grout had any help getting around, but Goodbout just slams on the brakes and huge just stack up throughout the rest of the field for that one. That might be championship hopes over. Hopefully Goodbout has a backup car in that number 92 machine. See if we can catch that one more time from the inside of the 92 and see if we can see what happened if there was contact. You can see just how bumpy this track is on the inside when you get him in slow-mo. And I am not sure there was contact there. See if we can get a look from the nose cam. And he's definitely close. Oh, there it is. Just a hair of contact there into the 49 is all it takes to upset one of these cars getting on the power at this bumpy track. And there you see all the rest of the carnage taking place. And unfortunately, that's going to be an end-of-line penalty for the 92. It does look like he had a backup car to take, so he's going to be in the backup. But all that work he did to come up from starting in the 17th position here, he's going to have to do it once again sitting here in 17th. So getting ready to go live on the Facebook side is going to be Mr. Paul Strickland Jr. himself on the VidaneTV Facebook page, streaming tonight's Liberty Racing League on the Facebook page. They're going to be racing Miatas around, looks like Charlotte Motor Speedway, or excuse me, Homestead, Miami here tonight in the Miatas. So big old 1.5-mile track for those little 150 horsepower or so Miatas. Field makes their way back under green. Going to be Ryan Kuhn up on the top spot once again. He has absolutely been in control of this race. Fastest car by far, and frankly, not much to talk about him other than he is trying to secure himself a championship spot here in the Oil Boys, especially with the trouble Goodbout's gotten himself into. Caden Fisher not backing down so easy, wants the lead from Kuhn. Fortunately, gets a little bit sideways in turn numbers 1 and 2 and succeeds the position to Ryan Kuhn. Halfway this time, 75 laps in the books, 75 left to go. Justin Prescott and Tegan Atkins side by side fighting for the 3rd position. So Kyle Goodbout currently 7/10 of a second here behind Jake Grout. Trying to close that gap up and get himself a couple more positions. Like I said earlier, if Brian Kuhn wins this race, he's going to have to finish in the top 5 in order to win the championship, as we have big contact further back. Looks like that might have been Jarvis Satsiel getting into the outside wall. Does make his way to the pit lane, but it does bring the caution out, racing side by side with Kenny Thompson in that number 39 machine, making their way down the back straightaway. And I'm not sure if there was contact there, or from that angle it's really tough to see, but doesn't spin him out completely, but just hard enough to nose him into that outside retaining wall where you see trucks and haulers make their way to the infield. And unfortunately, I think Satiel's already taken his backup car, being scored 2 laps down currently, so an unfortunate end to the night there for the 17 machine. So only 17 cars left on the lead lap. We use this time under caution to remind you that if you're hungry, maybe you're out of beer, maybe you forgot some groceries, you can get it all on DoorDash.com. But before you go there, make sure you go to www.VidaneTV/DoorDash, and you can get $8 off your first 4 orders with a new sign up. Or you can scan that QR code top right of the screen. It'll take you right to the sign up page, get you your $8 off your first 4 orders, and get you some good food here tonight. Why don't you let us know in the comments what you're having for dinner? And if we hit the right buttons here in the booth, we can go back to showing you the racing action. Currently going to be Ryan Kuhn on the top spot. Caden Fisher starting in second for this restart. He had a great restart last time. Really was able to give Kuhn the beans, but not able to seal the deal. Hopefully you can get that to happen here on this restart. So lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. Menacing field of 17 of these late model stock machines following closely behind. Pace truck makes the hard left turn down in the pit lane once again, and field is away and ready to go. So 67 laps left to go here in this one. The Polson Lumber Company Winter Blast 150. We're on VidaneTV. You can stay warm with us here watching from New Smyrna Speedway. Maybe stay warm with some of the drivers here in the infield as we're under caution once again for these guys. Looks like an issue for Riley McVetti in that 45 machine. Oh, big contact there towards the inside wall. Both those cars heavily damaged, and I believe both those were involved in the big one earlier here tonight. So not sure if they've got backup cars left in the pits. Once again, a little bit of contact there as they make their way back onto the speedway. So Dennis Leslie checking in the comments saying Kuhn literally doored the 18. That was a cheap way to take the lead, and that might be so. See if that gives Fisher a little pep in his step and maybe shows him how he wants to be raced. You know, if that's how you're going to race me, maybe that's how I'll dive you into the corner here on this next restart. Currently 64 laps left to go possibly some fireworks here on the restart. Lights still on the iRacing safety truck, so we'll have at least one more time around under caution. It's down once again, so 2 more times around. So we see the cars involved in the incident making their way out of the pit lane back onto the racing surface. And if we select the right camera, we can give you that cool look from the back bumper of the iRacing safety truck as the field makes their way down the back straightaway, getting ready to go green. Once again, it'll be 61 laps to go here for the Polson Lumber Company. Winter Blast 150. And they're going to call that restart back. Looks like some shenanigans back there in the field. Not sure who that one was for. But we're going to line them back up again, keep them double file, and possibly get them back to racing once again. Pace truck, absolutely monster trucking its way through all of these drivers. We'd expect a quickie yellow here. Pace truck dives back down to the inside after stacking them all up once again. And green flag one more time. 60 laps remaining. Great restart there for Ryan Kuhn. Tegan Atkins going to be stealing the second spot away from the 18 machine. So it'll be Kuhn, Atkins, and Fisher as they cross the stripe. 59 laps remaining in this one. Kyle Goodbout currently up to the 8th position. Still has a couple more spots to go if he wants his championship hopes to stay alive. Can't be too aggressive, though, as he has taken the backup car. He's gotten his mulligan. So no more second chances here for that 92. He's got to keep the nose of that thing clean. And new fastest lap for Ryan Kuhn with an 18.182. Has not taken a pit stop yet either. Those are the tires he started this race on. It's 93 laps on those Hoosiers. And Tegan Atkins now at the fast lap, trying to chase down Ryan Kuhn. Not quite able to get it done yet. Kyle Goodbout going to be side by side now with Luke Shannon, duking it out for the 6th position. Just to the left of your screen, Tegan Atkins starting to close the gap now on Ryan Kuhn. Not quite side by side just yet. Goodbout backs out of this fight. Like I said, he's got to keep that nose clean. He's got to race smart. He's taken 2 pit stops already. Not sure if he has taken tires or not. If he has, there's only 27 laps on these tires, but you still don't want to overheat them, as that'll kill off the rest of the run if you go green all the way to the end. Right on board once again with Kyle Goodbout, taking the inside under Luke Shannon. Not quite able to get there just yet. And it looks like Tegan Atkins has closed the gap on Ryan Kuhn. He is right there on the rear bumper. This will be one of your first fights for the lead here, with only 50 laps remaining in the Polson Lumber Company Winter Blast 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway. Tegan Atkins not quite able to find a way around the 72 of Ryan Kuhn. Not sure he wants to find a way around just yet. These two are starting to build a considerable gap over third place JD Stockwell. That gap up to 3/4 of a second between the 88 and 45. So if these guys can get a huge gap on the guys behind them, they can then duke it out with no repercussions, no worrying about drawing the field close to them. Goodbout and Shannon still fighting side by side down the back straightaway. Goodbout still unable to find a way around that number 13 machine. And he's running out of time to do it. He has to get himself up to the 5th position or his championship dreams are going to be over. So Kyle Goodbout able to get the move done on the 13 machine of Luke Shannon. Still has one more spot to go. Otherwise, he will be 1 point shy of Ryan Kuhn if the field were to finish as they do now. Now, alternatively, Kyle Goodbout could finish here in the 6th position, but Kuhn would have to finish 2nd, so Tegan Atkins would have to find a way around Ryan Kuhn. Only 40 laps remaining, still plenty of time for anything to happen. As Atkins now losing time to Ryan Kuhn. Kuhn building that gap up to about 3/10 of a second here as they make their way out of turn number 2. As a reminder, we are doing a doubleheader here on VidaneTV. So after we're concluded here on YouTube, we'll still be live on the Facebook side. Currently 95 laps to go with the Miatas at Homestead Miami Speedway. All the cars got their lights on them. There's lights on the track. They're racing at night. And frankly, just peeking over at this Facebook broadcast, this is an absolute ridiculous race. They are 3 wide, about 14 rows deep here, possibly 4 wide during the Miata race. So after this one, you definitely want to tune into that show and see what kind of magic these guys are doing over there. But we'll come back here to the short track side. 36 laps remaining. Still going to be Kuhn on the top spot. Tegan Atkins 2nd, and he's got some pressure now from Caden Fisher in that number 18 machine. 35 laps left to go. Is lap traffic possibly going to be an issue? And caution is out, possibly for Mike McCaskill. Now, it looks like it was for Riley McFetty, possibly Kenny Thompson. Oh, yeah. Little incident there into the inside retaining wall, and that's going to stack the field up once again. Kyle Goodbout also snuck away from me. He is up into that 5th position, so currently your championship leader as they run. As now the field makes their way down the pit lane. This will be Ryan Kuhn's first and possibly only pit stop here of tonight. See if he takes tires on that 72 machine. Kyle Goodbout stays out, so he's going to put himself on the point. Right side's up on the 72 car. Only taking right side tires there for Ryan Kuhn. And he's going to be in the 4th position. So only 3 cars separating him and Goodbout. Only 3 cars stayed out there. So hopefully Goodbout can hang on just for 33 laps. All he's got to do is keep himself in the top 5, and this championship is his. The lights are out on the iRacing safety truck, shaking things up here a little bit. Some cars taking tires, some cars not. Goodbout likely took tires there when he took the backup car, so possibly only 50 laps on these tires, but still got a ways to go. Going to be 30 laps remaining here when they go back to green. Pace truck makes the hard left dive in the pit lane. Green flag is out. Goodbout with a fantastic start. Going to try and keep the field behind him, but Ryan Kuhn already up to 3rd and on the inside of Makita Giru. Oh, hard contact back there down the back straightaway. All the cars look to be pointing in the right direction, but we have carnage in the turn number 3. And they're still wrecking behind. A lot of different incidents here. Shannon getting in the back of the 18. Riley McFetty getting himself an off track. Trying to find the angle, see who crashed there up towards the front of these guys. Looks like that may have been Luke Shannon. Here we go. So the field's starting to wreck. Saw Shannon pointed the wrong direction, so curious to see what happened to him there. Looks like he just drives right under the 18. Ooh, makes contact there. That's going to be with the number 60 car. Looks like the 88 Tegan Atkins. Oh, I'm going to spin the 60 car. Mr. Control gets hard into the 04. And that's where he takes out 13. So a lot of big carnage here. And a lot of cars getting taken out. That's going to leave Kyle Goodbout on the point, though. Makita Giru still 2nd. And Ryan Kuhn going to be starting right behind Goodbout in the 3rd position. truck going to make the hard left turn down in the pit lane. Goodbout elects to start from the outside line, trying to give himself a little space to himself and Ryan King. 25 laps remaining. Field considerably thinner after that last major caution. And Kuhn not able to get the huge run that he wanted. He might have gotten the goodie off those right side tires already. As Goodbout is going to control this race, put himself 0.3 of a second over Makita Giroux. Field's going to be single file for the top 3. And we've got one spun around. That's going to be Luke Shannon there on the back straightaway, and that's going to bring out the caution. Possibly getting spun around all on his own. I didn't see any contact there. There we go. Car just starts getting loose off turn number 2, and around it goes. He was able to recover without hitting anything, but it did draw the caution. That's going to be another restart and another chance for it to all go south here for Kyle Goodbout. At this point in the race, he's on the point, just wants it to stay green so we can control this thing all the way till he sees the checkered flag and the championship trophy at the end.
Going to fly.
So as a reminder, we are doing a doubleheader here on VidaneTV. So once we're done with this action, you got to head over to the Facebook page. Currently 94 laps left in their Miata pretty much plate race here at Homestead Miami Speedway. 3 and 4 wide action for these guys. Absolutely flat out around the great 1.5 progressive banked oval they got down there. So 2 races going on in the state of Florida here on VidaneTV. Lights are going out on the pace truck this time. Going to be 20 laps to go. Going to be 19 to go when we go back to green. Excuse me, 19 to go now. Going to be 18 to go when we go back to green. All Goodbout has to do is keep it in the top 5 to win this championship. Pace truck is off. Green flag comes out as they cross the restart stripe. Another fantastic start there for Kyle Goodbout. Oh, and big carnage there. One up and over. That's going to be the 36 of Makita Giroux. That's going to need the toe to get back, and a bunch more race cars getting taken out here in this one. So just pushes high off of turn number 2, spins off the nose of the 88 car, Tegan Atkins. Atkins gets lifted up in the rear end, and that's going to fully send the 36 car up and over. Bunch of cars diving to avoid huge contact there for the 04 and the 88. 60 car involved as well. So lights are still on the iRacing safety truck. Here we go. Lights are out. Going to be good bout on the pole. Ryan Kuhn second. Had a bit of a connection issue for Ryan Kuhn. Tegan Atkins third, and Jake Kraut fourth. So Kuhn's going to have a shot to really give it to Kyle Goodbout, but Goodbout can just let him go. All he's got to do is keep himself in the top 5, and this championship is his. Pace truck is off. Away they go into the restart box. Another good start here for Goodbout. He's going to be able to clear Ryan Kuhn. Now, does he dive to the bottom to get it done? I don't think he is. Just got to play it smart, play it safe. No need to risk getting turned off the nose to the 72. And he doesn't, because he's clear and away as they exit turn number 4. Got a full car length on the pair behind them. Kuhn and Grout fighting for championship spots as well. After the heat race, though, Grout lost about 7 points there to Ryan Kuhn. So he's going to have to do a lot more than just pass him here. He's got to hope for trouble for Kuhn if he wants to take over the second place spot here in the championship. But your rundown in this race, 1, 2, and 3, is also your championship rundown. It's going to be Goodbout, Kuhn, and Jake Kraut. Mr. Control going to be in the 4th position in that 60. And Goodbout out there sets the hot time of the race so far with an 18:073. 10 to go at the stripe. Only 10 more revolutions around New Smyrna Speedway, and it's all over for Kyle Goodbout. He's just got to drive a clean race. Bunch of cars getting to that outside retaining wall down the back straightaway. Not what you want to do when you're leading here at the Polson Lumber Company Winter Blast 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway. Good racing here up front. Ryan Kuhn looking for a way around Kyle Goodbout, but knows it's all over for the championship hopes. Even if he gets by, it's not going to be enough. He has to hope for trouble for Goodbout. Maybe 4 to go at the stripe. Does Kuhn have anything in it? Even if he can't win the championship, can he win the final race of the season? Two more times around at the stripe. I'm not sure Kuhn has anything for Goodbout. Oh, caution's going to come out. That's going to spice up the end of this race. Looks like possibly an issue for Luke Shannon. And there it is. Gets spun around. Same spot as he lost it on his own down the back straightaway. Saves it into the grass, but does draw the caution on that one. Spices up the finish of this race. So still going to be 3 to go. We're extending the distance this one at least to 152 laps. Expecting the lights to go out on the iRacing safety truck this time. And they do. So green-white checker here for the finish of the season here in the Oil Boys. And it's going to be Goodbout and Kuhn duking it out for the last couple of laps. See who's going to win the final race this season. As long as Goodbout can keep it in the top 5, he will be your champion. Pace truck is off, and away we go. Kuhn hard to the inside of the 92. Touch of contact there. Has to back up and get off of him. And they're going to be single file, but they're still going to fight side by side for the 3rd position. So we have across the stripe, going to be the white flag one more time around for the Oil Boys here in 2026. Goodbout makes his way into turn number 3, rounds turn number 4, down the straightaway. Kyle Goodbout wins the final race of the season, and by my math, he is your 2026 Oil Boys champion. Well, tries for the donuts and gets it in the outside wall a little bit, but, you know, that might be the old Jimmy Johnson, you know, bend the nose in so it passes tech, and frankly, got to do what you got to do. He is your 2026 champion and your 2026 Polson Lumber Company Winter Blast 150 race winner here at New Smyrna Speedway. Parks it right up there in victory lane, gets the photo shot. He's going to step on out of the race car. So, Kyle Goodbout going to be your feature winner here for the Oil Boys iLate Model Series. Ryan Kuhn finishing second, 0.2 of a second behind. JD Stockwell third. Jake Grout finishing in the 4th position. Looks like he's going to take home 3rd in your championship standings. Mike McCaskill finishing 5th. Hayden Bushy 6th. Caden Fisher 7th. Mr. Control finishing 8th. 9th is going to be Justin Prescott. And 10th going to be Kenny Thompson. 11th goes to Chris Theron. Riley McVetti finishing 12th. Dominic LaFleur finishing 13th. Cam Beatty 14th. Or Beatty, excuse me. 15th going to be Jarvis Satsiel. 16th going to be Zachary Bumgardner. 17th Tegan Atkins. 18th Luke Shannon. 19th. And rounding out your field is going to be Makita Giroux. See if we can find our drivers and pull them up into the booth. At first, we're going to pull in JD Stockwell. JD finishing 3rd here on the night. Didn't have the beans to go and get Ryan Kuhn and Goodbout on that last restart, but man, you drove a great race tonight. Looking only 12 incidents on the board, and looking at some of the incident numbers of some of the other drivers, I mean, you really got out scot-free out of most of those incidents. How did you do it? Did it feel like Days of Thunder through some of it?
Yeah, I mean, it weren't too bad. We started up front, so that always helps. And I tried to just keep it clean the whole time. We were riding in second there for a while, and then I got shuffled back, but
Got
stayed out
shuffled
of
back,
all the
but
big stuff and kept doing what I was doing.
yeah, got shuffled back, but still made your way back up to third spot. Got yourself on the podium, got yourself in an interview position, which is always a plus. Was tire wear really a big concern here tonight, or was track position more important?
I mean, going into the race, I wasn't really concerned about tires, but I forget what lap it was, but while there before we pitted, probably 20 before we pitted, I was starting to get real tight, and I'm like, we could probably use a caution right about now for some tires. So I was definitely happy to get 4 tires there.
Yeah, it looked like right about lap 100, the whole field started pushing. Lap time started to fall off, but looks like you and just about the rest of the field decided that was a good time to pit in for tires, and worked out pretty well for you. Got yourself on the podium. Any sponsors, plugs, thank yous you want to punch in here?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, Heat Race Heroes, Doug's Auto Body, and you guys for putting this on.
Hell yeah. Well, hopefully we're speaking to you again here on VidaneTV. Believe this is the end for the Oil Boys for this season, but still plenty of racing left to go, and before we get into the real world season. So hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
And up next, once again, we're talking to Ryan Kuhn. Not able to get on the top spot here tonight. Unfortunately, narrowly misses out on the championship by my math, but still a great night here. You led the most laps. You were absolutely in control all the way up until that last pit stop, and just wasn't able to get around Kyle Goodbout. Did the tires not help you as much as you thought they would, or was he just too good to pass?
Yeah, cautions just didn't work out the way we wanted them to. Just kind of got screwed with yellows late in the race. It is what it is. He did a good job, and I had a lot of fun tonight. You know, everybody ran pretty good, pretty clean tonight overall. Second half of the season's been really, really good. So that's really good, and looking forward to next season.
Hell yeah. I mean, coming into the night, you were 20 points behind Cal Goodbout, and he actually didn't make his heat race, so you've gained 10 points there. If he finished outside of the top 5 and you would have won, it was yours, and that's the way it was for most of the night. And out of nowhere, Cal Goodbout, unfortunately for you, I guess, coming in clutch. Were you running those numbers at all during the race, or were you just focusing on just driving the car?
I was just here driving the car. Honestly, didn't even really look at the points situation. Somebody mentioned it to me, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to have fun, you know, have a good time. So, which I did. So I had a great time, and I hope everybody else did too.
Hell yeah. Well, it was a blast watching you up here, watching you out throughout the season, and you're pretty much the Iron Man of what we do here on VidaneTV, so I'm sure it won't be too long till we're talking to you again.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Why don't we get some of your sponsors in?
Yeah, RKM Setup Shop first and foremost. All my guys, all my customers, and all my house guys for support. Everett's Auto Parts, my real life sponsors. Modern Auto Body, Coastal Heritage Bank, Cape Cod Central Railroad. Everybody who's made my career possible. 01 Designs. Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. Hopefully it's not too long before we're talking to you again, and until next time, you have yourself a great night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we make our way down the victory lane, where Kyle Goodbout is not only raising the trophy for winning the Polson Lumber Company 150 here at New Smyrna Speedway, he's also raising the championship banner here for the Oil Boys. Just a fantastic drive. Drove your way up through the field twice. Were you concerned at all about the points numbers? Were you looking at them at all, or just trying to win the race here tonight?
Honestly, I mean, yeah, you're always trying to win, but I've been having some like technical issues. Like I was on one monitor that whole race.
Oh no!
I missed my heat race. Like my microphone doesn't work. I'd have nothing. So obviously, I was a little stressed out because I mean we'd been gone in North Carolina trying to watch the Clash, but I'd gotten home 32 minutes to an hour before the race started and I couldn't get anything working. So yeah, the points were definitely struggling, or not struggling, but I was looking at them and keeping an eye on them, and getting 1 point in the heat race wasn't very helpful, but we did exactly what we needed to do and came out on top tonight.
Yeah, missing the heat race unfortunately drew the gap down to just 10 points between you and Ryan Kuhn. And unfortunately, that meant you had to finish in the top 5 instead of top 10. And you did that not once, but twice here tonight. Fortunately, the first time you got up into the top 5, had that incident, shuffled you back to 17th, but you drove your way all the way up to the front. Now, did you get a little worried there at the end when everyone took tires and you didn't?
Yeah, it was yes and no. I was feeling good on the runs before those cautions, just saving tire, because I had taken tires when I took a fast repair after whatever lap caution that was, where we got dung up pretty good. And yeah, I was definitely shaking those last few restarts, but we were able to pull it off and take home the championship, which is really cool, and finishing off on a W is even better.
Hell yeah, well, hopefully you're not too bummed about missing the clash down there at Bowman Gray. It's a little frigid, I've heard. But thankfully, I think NASCAR was doing something pretty cool. They were either giving full refunds or 120% credit to any of the other NASCAR-owned speedways. So hopefully you'll get to see another race here during the season.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. But other than that, it snowed a lot there. We had to brim our driveway, and yeah, came home to mechanical issues and barely came out on top. So I can't thank the RKM Setup Shop boys enough. Oil Boys, Kaysen, you guys for putting this on. It was a fun season.
Hell yeah, well, hopefully we're talking to you again next season. This was a lot of fun to call, stepping in for Paul a couple times this season. But you go enjoy your championship. You definitely earned it here tonight, especially with the technical issues, driving on a single monitor. And, well, go have fun celebrating.
Thank you.
So that's going to be it for us here on the short track side of VidaneTV. But the action isn't over just yet. Paul is currently live from Homestead Miami Speedway on the Facebook side of things. So if you want to head over to Facebook, go to the VidaneTV page. It's currently 66 laps remaining in that race. Every time I check in on it, the leaders of that race are 2, 3, and sometimes 4 wide, currently side by side right now. Looks like 4, 5, 6 rows deep in that race, so definitely some good action. If you're all out of beer, all out of food, just remember, here on VidaneTV, we got something for you. Before you sign off, scan that QR code, get $8 off your first 4 DoorDash orders. Get yourself something coming and enjoy this Miata action, as they absolutely just wadded half the field up over there on the Facebook side. But make sure you check into the VidaneTV Facebook page and enjoy the rest of your night.